Hi, Dr. Kelly Watson here, and today I'm going to talk to you about the consulting project. So I hope you're looking forward to this experience. I hope I've created something that's going to be super fun and educational for you. So just some highlights of the process and just to kind of cover some logistics as well. So first of all, I'm going to be the one who assigns your team, and I'm going to do that balancing the skills that I'm noticing in the classroom so that you have, a diverse set of those skills for the assignment. So that's going to be something that I'm going to do, and you're going to work together with the team that I assign you. The second thing is the role of the client is going to be me. So when you need to make a request of the client, you need to send an email to me. That's kelly.watson@lmu.edu. Please send me an email so that I can keep track of all of the requests. And so what could happen is you could make a request of me and I may take long to get you the information back, or I may not have access to the information at all. And I may have to say, sorry, I don't have that. That is meant to mimic real life. And, I will do my earnest best to get you information if I can. But if I can't, then again, that's just real life. So you're going to work with what you have. I have put together some information and some data to begin with. So I should have what you're going to look for. But, part of this is figuring out what it is that you want. And then if I can provide it, I will. All right, so let's just talk a little bit about the phases. So this first phase, the first deliverable, really is about you just thinking through what is a realistic roadmap for a client project like this. And I appreciate that many of you will not have this experience, and that's okay. I've given you tools, I've given you some videos to watch, I've given you some expertise to tap, and then you're just going to practice, you're just going to try. So, think through based on the materials that have been posted about the initial client conversation and their profile, what data would you want? What would you request? And again, you may not get it, but put together your plan that if you were to get that, what would be your methodology? How would you go about interpreting the data? And what do you think a good couple of research questions might be in this case? What do you think you're there to do for the client? Second deliverable, at that point, you will have asked for data and either got it or not. So at this point, you're going to, sort of do a data analysis draft. And you're going to come up with, some sort of what the sources data were, some descriptives about the data, and you're going to start to analyze what you're seeing based on the data. And again, it could be qualitative, it could be quantitative. I encourage you, even if quantitative analysis is not your skill, or qualitative analysis, if that's not your skill, that you really do need to do what's right for the client and then ask for help. We are going to have a workshop, so we are going to spend some class time working on the data piece, and I will be there as a resource. But I want you to stretch yourself. Like, this is the opportunity to do it. And try some of these methods that you've learned in this program, because it has given you more fluency than I think you probably believe at this point. So if you're a quant jock, try some qual. If you're a qualitative person, try some quant. But really, dig in and use this as an opportunity. And don't be afraid of the research methods, right? Yes, it's, if you're publishing in an academic journal, the standards are really, really high for your use of these techniques. And in which case, you probably want to get a methodologist involved in your studies to make sure that it's done right. But when it's for a client, you have a little more leeway, because oftentimes the clients, you'll be the only consultant in the deal that's actually got any background. And so you can explore a little more and learn as you go. The other thing I will tell you is that AI can be a really great tool to help you do some of this analysis. So, yes, you have SPSS and you have Stata at your fingertips. You may have R or Python, depending on what you have explored, or other tools, some of the linguistic tools, maybe at your disposal. But AI can do a lot. So Don't, not do some analysis because you think you don't have the tools without at least trying to see if AI can deliver it. And of course, you have to back check everything with AI, but it can be very valuable. These large language modules are now getting really good at being able to do math. So think about that, and certainly qual stuff. All right. We are also going to then do client presentation videos. The idea there is to, synthesize everything on the project down to, the key components. And this often is really important because when you get a lot of information about a client, there is the tendency to just want to parrot it back to them. And to some extent, that can be valuable because they can hear it all day long internally, but until somebody from the outside says, hey, I've noticed a pattern in this, they may not be open and receptive to it. So yes, that's valuable, but the real challenge here and the real value you can add is when you synthesize these results into something actionable. So something, and again, combine that with what the literature says to be able to give them real meaningful ways to do something about some of these insights that you've gathered. So synthesizing into insights and then, coming up with a new way of being so that they can actionably, make change in their organization, really, really important. And I want you to think about that change being truly measurable and something that can be implemented. So, vague statements about, getting better at leadership is not going to be valuable to a client. They need the step-by-step. They need it to be something that's, legitimately achievable through a normal change management process and not boiling the ocean or solving world hunger, but at the same time, is actionable and measurable. And so you can see, the idea would be that you as a consultant would come back in 2 years and measure and see progress against whatever goals that you've laid out for them. So I hope this is fun. I hope you have a great time with this assignment and that you learn just a whole ton. And of course, reach out if you have questions about any portion of this assignment. All right, enjoy.